Time for the Insight Coin Toss. Insight, the official technology solutions partner of the Arizona Cardinals. And Denver won the toss, and they're going to take the ball first. Let's check Glenn's keys to the game, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers, serving the Valley for 90 years.
Well, hopefully be as accurate as we were last week. No injuries. The Cardinals cannot sustain any injuries, any nicks. They've got to be very, very cognizant of who's in the game and who's out. But also, let's see if they can find a diamond into the rough. Second through the fourth quarters, somebody who shows up and makes enough of an impression. Maybe the light goes on for them. Whatever it is, they come out big and strong and get themselves a place on this roster that maybe one of those people are just not thinking of at this point.
Head coach Ken Whisenhunt, preseason game number 4. Carolina Panthers come to town to start the season. John Fox, 9 years as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. First year as the head man of the Denver Broncos.
John Fox comes from a defensive background. He was a defensive coordinator of the New York Giants prior with Jim Fossil when they made a Super Bowl run. Had a very strong defense there. And that's how he tends to like to build his teams.
Jay Feely sends it away through the back of the end zone over the head of Parrish Cox. And Denver's offense will operate first from the 20.
Well, the good thing about this last preseason game, if you're a starter, is play well and you're off the field fast. If you're on the offensive side, you'd like to get 7-8 plays, get a drive and be done defensively. If they can get 3 and out, get a turnover, I don't know how many of the starters we'll see after that.
Brady Quinn is your starting quarterback tonight for the Broncos. Lance Ball is the man in the backfield. Britt Davis in motion, and on first down, Denver to the ground for a couple. Let's check tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Bud Light. Sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Brady Quinn out of Notre Dame, spent some time in Cleveland, came over to Denver. Kyle Orton will be Denver's starter at the start of the regular season, but it'll be Quinn and Tim Tebow tonight.
I think get a chance to see who can solidify that spot. I think everybody understands it's Quinn's. Pretty much it's his job.
Ball again on the ground. Stopped shy of the 25. Darnell Dockett with the tackle for Arizona. Check the Broncos starting offense. What do you think of the idea? You talked about starters for most teams getting in, playing 7 or 8 plays. Denver sitting down a lot of their frontline players tonight.
You know, it's kind of something that their franchise does. A lot of their starters do not play this last game. Obviously trying to avoid injury to them, keep them fresh.
Quinn looking to set up a screen, gets the ball, and he's swallowed up, and he'll lose yardage. Calais Campbell was not fooled.
You know, when you're an offensive lineman, you can't just turn the guy loose. You actually have to act like you're blocking him. And Calais Campbell, he's going to get just one bump and he's free. He sniffs it out pretty quick because he realizes, wait a minute, no, I never come that free, and there's a running back going right past me. Good job by him of recognition.
Campbell, 4th-year man. Brittany Colquitt on to punt. Patrick Peterson back deep for Arizona. Colquitt gets one to turn over, driving Peterson back to the 24. Peterson looking for a little room and gets knocked off his horse right around the 33-yard line.
You've heard me say it, though. That's a great return. In the punt return game, first off, you receive the ball. That's winning. Second, you get positive yards. That's a good return.
Kevin Cobb's numbers this preseason came over in a trade with Philadelphia. Cardinals starter and a big piece of their puzzle as they try to reclaim the NFC West.
Absolutely, and you know, we've spoken about it, that he is a guy that it's obvious when he's on the field, he's the quarterback. It's obvious that he's in control of the huddle. He's brought something to this offense, and more importantly, when you watch him play, his ability to progress down the field, the way he'll hang in there and take the second shot, the second window. That's what makes him pretty much the leader out there.
On first down, this is Beanie Wells using the stiff arm, going over the left side, and he'll move the chains for Arizona. Mike Muhammad forced number 26 out of bounds.
Well, you know, it's belly, so he's going to make one move, and then he's got to get outside. You take a a look. Look at the block by the tight end on the outside. That's a very good job by Todd Heap, just eliminating one edge, and that gets you to the outside and gets you 10 yards.
You see Wells' numbers. He had 10 carries for 63 yards last week against the Chargers. His first carry tonight, good for 11. First down Arizona, their own 45. Beanie again slips down.
There was indecision along the line there from your pulling guard. Rex Hadnot kind of shifted in there. There was a missed block on the outside. Take a look at the offense here.
Arizona's starting offense. Cobb, Beanie Wells, Reagan Mawia. Mawia and Anthony Sherman in that fullback spot in a pretty good battle.
That's a heated battle. Pay attention tonight. See who starts lighting people up.
No gain on first down. Second down and 10. Cobb to the air. Plenty of time. Over the middle, incomplete in the direction of the tight end, Jeff King. King brought over from Carolina, 6-year man, an outstanding blocker.
What an absolute steal in free agency that they could get both Todd Heap and Jeff King. You upgraded your tight end spot dramatically.
So have the dynamic rookie, Rob Hausler, Stephen Spock, and Jim Dre. It'll be interesting to see how that battle shakes out. Third down and 10. Set, in motion, now stays in the slot. Cobb surveying, throws one on the run, caught by Beanie Wells, and he'll be out of bounds near midfield, but short of a Cardinals first down. Mike Muhammad covering Beanie Wells out of the backfield.
Well, what you say immediately is both times he had time to throw. He had time back there, and one thing that you know, more often than not, when you're game planning and you can give your quarterback time, you'll get the ball down the field.
Dave Zastudil on to punt. Saquon Thompson back deep for Denver. Zastudil turns one over. Thompson's going to take it from the 4, trying to make a play. Gets out of the first wave. And across the 30, Zastudil down as part of the special teams tackle. So a big punt. Thompson with a nice return. 48 on the punt, 28 on the return. Back with more preseason game number 4 after this timeout. Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, 12 years in the NFL. I'd imagine you guys are pretty excited to get that preseason over, put it in the books, and get to where the games count for real.
That and where you get paid for real. You know, these games, it's like a stipend, and you don't get much. You're out there banging around, risking your career for not much.
Kyle Orton, Broncos starting quarterback, sitting this one out tonight. Brady Quinn got the start. And Quinn to the air, and the pass is through the hands and incomplete. Britt Davis, second-year man out of Northern Illinois, would like to have that one back.
Yeah, that's a beat-em-up ball. That ball comes, hits him square. He's got to make this grab. No pressure on the quarterback. Just takes his eyes off it for a split second, knowing he's going to get popped. I'll tell you, it's Hamza Abdullah who'd like to have it back. That ball pops up there. You can see now he couldn't have made a play on it, but boy, in his mind he could have.
Lance Ball will get the pitch on second down and 10. The Cardinals defensively able to stack him up near the 35. Sam Acho, the rookie out of Texas, with the stop.
Well, you know whose play won't show up on a stat board is Nick Eason on that play. He blew up a block and therefore forced the ball right into Sam Acho. See the Cardinals defense scrolling across the bottom of your screen. One of the questions after that first wave of defensive linemen, Cardinals have some concerns about the depth. Well, yeah, and how many you're going to keep? How many can you keep because of other considerations?
On third down and 8, Quinn on the run, incomplete. Matthew Willis, the intended target. Nick Eason again forcing the hand of Brady Quinn.
Yeah, Nick Eason, O'Brien Schofield, both guys get in. You watch Eason come under. He's got pressure. That pushes him into O'Brien Schofield. I'll tell you what, Russ Hochstein got himself beat pretty bad by our guy Nick Eason right there.
Britton Colquitt on again. His brother Dustin, punter for Kansas City. Father Craig punted the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this one swallowed up by Roberts, and he's quickly knocked to the turf by the Broncos special teamers. 39-yard punt, no return. Chris Harris on the special team stop for Denver. Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Cardinals and Broncos still scoreless. Not too late to be part of the action. A limited amount of Cardinals season tickets are still available for 2011 season. To secure your seats today, please call 602-379-0102, or you can always go to azcardinals.com. Richard Bartell is the Cardinals quarterback. And on first down, they turn and hand it off to Rod Stevens-Howling. So Bartell, who has gotten a nice look, and the beneficiary of John Skelton, who injured an high ankle sprain in the game against Green Bay, did not play against San Diego last week, and Bartell gets to shine.
Absolutely. And the thing about this game is you don't really want anybody to be injured, but listen, the way you'll raise your hand when they say, do you want to go in? So unfortunately for John Skelton, he got injured. Bartell gets a chance to shine, and he's got to make the most of it.
Stevens-Howling again, cut down in the backfield. Near the original line of scrimmage, loss of a couple on the play. Nate Irving, the rookie third-round draft pick out of North Carolina State, with the tackle for the Broncos.
Well, if you take a look, he gets past the block of the wide receiver, comes under it. Starting offensive line still in. All offensive linemen had their men, good dynamic there. Unfortunately, on the outside, you get a wide receiver, doesn't quite get underneath that safety.
There's John Skelton wearing the baseball cap. High ankle sprain, out again tonight.
False start, number 18, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
False start on Stephen Williams.
So, did I move? I didn't move. I moved.
Happens.
It happens. He's way out there. See, he's just got to look at the ball. That's what a wide receiver does. Just look at the ball. When it goes, you get to go.
Heap and Stevens-Howling in the backfield. Patel over the middle. Doucette with the catch. Turning the corner and cut down across the 35. Parrish Cox with the open field tackle. Early Doucette, fourth-year man from LSU, vying to be the Cardinals' #2 receiver.
Simple route, deep crossing route. Safety has to step up, backer has to drop deeper, but Doucette puts himself in a perfect position to catch the ball, then understands I got to get a little bit north. And yards after the catch are an important part of the wide receiver. And we see it with Larry Fitzgerald. He's a threat to break it every time, and that's what wide receivers have to learn is the catch is the first part. Everything else has to follow.
Doucette picks up 16. Bartell back to the air. Roberts with the catch, and he's into Bronco territory. Andre Roberts has had a nice showing this preseason. Cassius Vaughn with the coverage. That's good for 17.
Impressed with Bartell's throw here. Watch the ISO on the receiver. Roberts up, stop route, but the ball is delivered. It's delivered right to him, right on his hands, and gives him a chance to turn and run.
Roberts' numbers in 2010 season. Stevens-Howling with the carry and cut down in the backfield. Maybe a loss of 1 on the play. Quentin Carter, rookie 4th-round draft pick out of Oklahoma, with the tackle.
Well, the whole offensive line, starting line, is still in, with the exception, I think, of Brandon Keith. I think he might have come out. No, excuse me, Brandon Keith is still in. So the entire starting offensive line is still in. Trying to get them. It's hard to tell how your second quarterback, and your second receiver is going to do if they're always on their back. So you keep your starting line in a little longer to give those guys a chance to work.
On 2nd and 11, Bartell with pressure has to throw it away. Threw it in the neighborhood of the fullback, Reagan Moia. Ryan McBean pressuring Bartell.
Well, McBean's going to get past, looks like Darren College over there. Hard to tell, though. The thing is, you're a big guy and you're moving backwards. Well, if somebody steps on your foot, you get beat. If a running back touches your hip, believe it or not, that spins you in your stance, you get beat. As a lineman, when I was pass pro, I didn't want anybody near me. Let me just dance with this guy by myself.
3rd and 11. Here comes pressure from Denver. Bartell gets it away. Stuckey's open and he makes the catch down to the 19. 28-yard reception for Chancey Stuckey.
Well, Chancey Stuckey off the left side just runs the corner route, comes up, faces leverage, goes to the corner. I'll tell you, great job, and here again at the route. Great job of of Richard Bartell stepping up, moving in the phone booth, keeping his eyes downfield, not worrying about the extra man coming, and delivering the ball.
Bartell, third-year man at Tarleton State. 1st and 10 at the Denver 19. Bartell, plenty of time. Stevens Howling with the catch, turns it upfield. To the 5 on his feet, he's in. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Well, you're going to see Stevens Howling right through the middle, and now once he catches the ball, he has to find leverage, and when he does that, turns this into a return. He's one of the better return men out there.
Led the NFL in kickoff return yardage a season ago. He knows what to do in the open field, and you like him in that spot out of the backfield, namely on 3rd down.
Absolutely. He's the perfect accompaniment. You can't put a linebacker on him because he'll run by him.
Feely tacks on the PAT. Larod Stevens Howling with 6 for Arizona. Welcome back to Arizona. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson on the Arizona Cardinals television network. 7-0 lead for the home team with that passing touchdown. From Bartell to Larod Stevens Howling, Wells Fargo donates $500 to the Team Up for Schools Fund, which donates money to local public schools. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. Jay Feely set to send it away. Thompson and Cox back deep for the Broncos. Cox backpedals and will take a knee. Broncos will have the football at the 20 when we come back. Arizona with a 7-point lead thanks to the feet of Larod Stevens Howling. Welcome back to the nest, home of the Arizona Cardinals. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Arizona leading Denver by 7. Cardinal scoring drive is powered by Santan Ford. Santan Ford and the Arizona Cardinals, we do this together.
Yeah, nice, couple nice, really nice tosses by Bartell. Some good routes, protection overall, pretty good. And then just being smart, check down, get a little something at the goal line, turns into a score for you.
Lance Ball, the lone back. Quinn instead going to go to the air. Pass is caught and stretching across the 30 up near the 32 is Matthew Willis, fourth-year man out of UCLA. Downstairs to Jody Jackson.
Guys, I had the chance this week to talk to Sam Acho, one of the Cardinals draft picks, outside linebacker. Talked to him. He's a very special young man. He won the Campbell Trophy as a senior at Texas, which is known as the Academic Heisman. His family has made a couple of medical mission trips to Nigeria, their homeland. Dr. Sonny Acho and his mom, Christy, who is a nurse practitioner. They bring a team of surgeons, doctors in many different fields to help the people in Nigeria. Sam started going when he was just 15. He's gone back a couple of times, taking teammates from his Texas Longhorns team, and he said it's incredible. They're looking to, at some point, build a hospital there. It will take about $1 million, but his father has the land all set. He's bought the land already, so what they're trying to do and what they do in Nigeria is absolutely wonderful, guys.
Thank you, Jody.
Stories like that make me wonder what I'm doing with my life, Rich.
Lance Ball with the carry. Gets it to the 41. Point you've made throughout this preseason, that character is very important to the brain trust of the Arizona Cardinals when they look at people they want on their team.
Absolutely, and because character tells you a lot about who's going to be in your locker room. It tells you about what they're going to be like on the streets, wandering around on a given day after you've given them money. There's a lot more to it. So, yeah, it becomes very important, and it's paid off for them. It's paid off for all the franchises that do that.
3rd down and 2. Ball again, he didn't get there.
Tell you what, 2 plays in a row, Vonnie Holliday has showed up big. There's an old, wily veteran. He's playing in a game that no veteran wants to play in, and he's made 2 great plays. Watch him here. He's going to get under, close the gap down, come down, and insist on that tackle. Good job by him. Good job by everybody along that line, getting in and smacking people around.
14 NFL seasons for Holliday. Colquitt back on to punt. Marche Green waiting near the 15 for Arizona. And this is going to take a bounce. And it'll be a touchback at the 20. Knocked over the pylon. It's about as close as you can get getting it into the end zone. Cardinals dodge one by that much. Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Arizona leading Denver 7-0. Look for the Cards' Ultimate Fan Cave contest coming soon exclusively to the Room Store. Be sure to register at any Room Store location for a chance to win.
Ultimate Fan Cave, what would be in yours?
Glenn, I've got to concentrate on the game. I can't think. 1st down at the 20 for Arizona. Bartell. Pass complete left side. Stephen Williams hauls it in. And Bartell is now 5 for 6 on the night.
Well, it's because he's putting the ball right on receivers. This is a 3-step drop, and it's a 3-step route. 1, 2, 3 cut. There's the ball coming to him. His 3rd step, when he makes that cut, coincides with Richard Bartell's back foot hitting on the 3rd step, so the ball is out of his hand. Really nicely done.
First down, Arizona at their own 34. To the ground, not much there. LaRod Stevens howling. Quentin Carter with the tackle for the Broncos. Richard Bartell, 3rd-year man, we mentioned out of Tarleton State. Stevensville, Texas, the Lone Star Conference.
Tarleton State. How'd they come up with that name if it's in Stevensville, Texas?
Weah, the fullback, goes in motion. 2nd and 9, play action. Underneath, Williams again, and he steps out of bounds near midfield. A 15-yard reception for number 18.
All right, the big thing here is to watch Bartell's head whip around. When you run the naked, when you turn, your head has to get downfield. Receiver running the crossing route, really well delivered. Really just, the main thing is to watch the design of the play, see how everybody runs with it, so that Bartell gets his head around so that he can see down the field.
Williams, a big target, the biggest of the Cardinals receivers at 6'5". Stevens howling, looking for a little room, bounces it out and cut down shy of the 45.
Deuce Latui's so big, he took 2 guys when he came around there. Watch Big Deuce here. Now, this is just counter. You're going to bring Deuce this way, and he's got to find out where to go. A log-in is what he's looking for, or a kick out. Now, but watch what happens as he comes around. It's indecisive. So here he comes. Pardon me, that's the play before. That was the naked, and that's where you want to see Richard Bartell's head whip back around.
Stevens howling again on 2nd down and 6. He'll be dropped for a loss. Nowhere to go for number 36. Mike Muhammad, very active tonight for Denver. Muhammad, 6th-round pick out of Cal. It's hard not to think of one person when you see number 53 for the Broncos, Bill Romanowski.
Very true, but you know, Mike Muhammad was one of the top tacklers for Cal the last 2 years. Doing a great job. He's coming in, he's been all over the field so far today. But you're right, Romanowski is the name that comes to mind.
3rd and 7. Cardinals 2 for 3 on 3rd down tonight. Bartell reloads, wide open is Stuckey, and he'll be able to walk one in.
Andre Roberts got to get open. Saquon Thompson, who's guarding on him, falls down outside your picture there. He went down like he shot. He's now down at the 30-yard line. He couldn't even make it off the field. He tried to get up. If you're wondering why Chauncey Stuckey comes wide open, Chauncey Stuckey comes open because the guy on him is down. Another Cal player, Saquon Thompson.
Second season, 7th round pick in 2010. Richard Bartell has been about as good as you could be tonight.
Absolutely, and he shows a command of the offense. Granted, you're running against maybe some second-team guys, and you're not game planning. But the thing is, he understands the command of where he's looking, what's his number 1 progression, what's the number 2 progression. He understands the mechanics of every play. 7 for 8 for 156 yards. That's a pretty good day.
Saw extended time last week in preseason game number 3 as you look at Stuckey on the bench, 6th-year man out of Clemson.
Well, Rich Bartell, he's just been sharp, and that's what he wanted, a chance to shine, and he got it. He early on found early Doucette. Simply just looked sharp throughout the game.
Jay Feely knocks it through. 32 seconds remaining first quarter. Arizona leading by 2 touchdowns. Preseason game number 4. Denver and Arizona.
A lot to be excited about as a Cardinal fan.
Home last week in a fun preseason game. Didn't like the end result. San Diego winning at the last second.
Your first teams did well.
Yes,
so you're excited by that.
Back tonight against Denver, and then the regular season opener on September 11th. Carolina Panthers and number 1 draft pick Cam Newton comes to town.
I think it'll be an exciting time to be in this stadium.
Passing touchdown from Bartell to Stuckey means Wells Fargo will donate $500 to the Team Up for Schools Fund, which donates money to local public schools. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. Bartell, a gym rat type of player, if you will. As Wisnun said, wouldn't be surprised at all if he turned to coaching when his playing days were done.
And that's exactly what you want your quarterback to be.
And bounces off the crossbar.
Are we going to see what's next? We saw a punt hit the pylon, a kick at the crossbar. So Bartell's had a couple of TD tosses as well tonight. And, besides being accurate with his other throws, this is a great one. Why? Because everything's covered and he checks down. Tries to get himself 3. Instead he gets himself, instead of the 3 yards or whatever, he gets himself a touchdown. But this one, hey, yeah, Saquon Thompson falls down, but guess what? You still got to be accurate with the ball. You still got to know where to go. And he found his man running free and put it on him.
On first down, Denver goes to the ground. Lance Ball with the carry. Clock moving. Final 22 seconds and counting of the first quarter. 173 total yards for Arizona. 27 for Denver. And the Broncos will let the ball move to the other side of the field. End of the first quarter in Arizona. Preseason game number 4. Cardinals leading the Broncos thanks to a pair of Skelton touchdowns. Arizona leading Denver by a pair of touchdowns as we enter the second quarter with 15 minutes to play before half. We remind you that 15 minutes could save you 15% on your car insurance. Visit geico.com today. Brady Quinn got the start tonight and has gone the entire way for Denver. On the first play of the second quarter, he goes to the air and throws it behind his intended target. Incomplete. Julius Thomas, rookie tight end out there. Well played by Hamza Abdullah.
Yeah, Hamza, trailed it nicely, got his hands in a position to make a play and did so. Hamza's been around long enough, understands what you can and can't get away with.
Six special teams tackles last season, and you got to figure out a way for one of those players on the fringe to make an impact on special teams to stick around on the 53-man roster. 3rd down and 6. Quinn escapes and simply throws it away on the sideline. Incomplete. Abdullah, closest person to the ball. Vonnie Holliday pressuring Brady Quinn.
The thing is this, you're going to get some pressure here, but again, we'll go back to Vonnie Holliday, Big Nick Eason. Guys are pushing, guys are fighting for that job. Look at Big Vonnie out there throwing himself. Hamza Abdullah shows he's almost catching the ball, but he's a ball hawk. He's out there. That's his job. Get around it. Going back to special teams, though, used to tell the kids all the time, ask to be put on every special team. Ask to be on it. Whether you see the field or not, maybe a chance is there. Maybe you get to do something.
Marche Green gets rocked just past the 35. DeAndre Goodwin, backup wide receiver with the special teams thump.
Yes, but Marche Green holds the ball. It comes down.
Goes on. You will see some people do some unorthodox things to try to make a play.
That's right. You're going to see, as the game goes on, you're going to see a lot of hitting and a lot of frustration at maybe not having the playing time or the ability to catch the coach's eye. It's going to get physical out there.
William Powell with the carry on 1st down, up near the 40. Jason Hunter with the tackle for Denver.
Well, the thing is, you got to get pushed. So you're going to see blocking assignments and doubles like this up to this backer. So all he has to do is find the hole and get to it. This is just letting your running back understand where the hole's going to come. See, he sees daylight to the back and then makes 2 cuts. Gets past the back and gets himself another yard.
Powell again. The rookie free agent out of Kansas State gets it near the 40. Not big numbers collegiately for William Powell, and a tough start a week ago.
Yeah. Tough start for him because obviously not familiar with the offense. Fumbles that ball, or at least it was a bad exchange. But he went on to do some good things last week.
He did, bounce back nicely. Off the muffed exchange, San Diego got the ball, fell in it on the end zone for a score. Martell, direction, Stuckey bobbles it and pulls it in. Stuckey hit by Chris Harris. 6th-year man able to haul it in. Stuckey started his career as a New York Jet, then traded to Cleveland in the Braylon Edwards deal.
The ball's bouncing around. He's getting hit, but he keeps his focus on the ball. He's able to come down with it. I don't think people understand just how difficult it is to catch a ball and then to be hit while you're catching the ball. It takes a lot of focus. Great job by Chancey Stuckey there.
Zastudil on to punt again. He's brought in to compete with the incumbent Ben Graham for the punting duties for Arizona. And fair catch called and made by Cox, and he's wondering why he didn't return it. 47 yards on the punt. Back with more after this. Welcome back to Arizona, where the Cardinals lead the Broncos by a pair of touchdowns. 12:33 to go in the first half. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson.
I got like 6 cents.
Introducing the new Sports Lovers package from Cox. It's the ultimate home field advantage. To order, visit Cox.com today. Brady Quinn remains the Broncos quarterback. Lance Ball is the lone setback. And he'll get the carry on first down. Gain of a couple. We go downstairs to Jody.
All right, alongside guard Darren College. Darren, 2 series for you. So I guess the question with quick, training camp, 4 preseason games, are you ready to go?
Well, I don't know if we're ready, but luckily we got 10 days till Carolina, so we'll be ready by then. But we feel like we've improved every single week. Tonight was another step forward, so we'll clean some things up. But we're excited to see these young guys playing Susan and breaking this roster.
5 seasons for you with the Packers. You come over to Arizona. What's the transition been like?
Exciting. This is a team ready to break out, and they had some challenges last year, but this year it feels like a whole different team. These guys have said, and I'm excited to be a part of that. So for us, it'll be a challenge to try to take this division, put this team back in the playoffs where it deserves to be.
I've talked about some of the differences on offense, but let me ask you about this. Working with Hall of Famer Russ Grimm, what's that been like? What's been the best thing about working with Russ?
Well, Russ is one of those guys, he just wants to see you get your job done, and he's a guy you're going to improve with, and I kind of said if I can't improve with Russ, I probably can't improve anywhere. So having a guy like that overshadow me, trying to make me the best player I can be is something special.
All right, thanks so much, Darren. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Jody.
Well, there's Russ Grimm, Hall of Famer, and I'll tell you what, a great player, a great coach. But anybody that listened to his Hall of Fame speech, I'll tell you what, it was an all-timer. It was one of those that you just said, this is a guy that gets it, and it was spectacular.
Injured Bronco down on the field. 11:47 to go in the first half. Back at University of Phoenix Stadium, Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson, Britt Davis, the injured Bronco, and the personal foul penalty on Hamza Abdullah. That a point of emphasis going against a defenseless player and a shot to the head. That'll be yardage on this, Glenn, and wouldn't be surprised if a notice from the league to write us a check.
Yeah, see what's on your stool come Monday or Tuesday. There's that FedEx package with a little note from the commissioner.
Ball with the carry, Matt Ware with the stop. Your man out of UCLA. Did you ever get any of those FedEx packages from the commissioner?
Matter of fact, I did. Matter of fact, I got one my last year, and I was playing the Cardinals.
What happened?
Oh, it was really over.
I know you were innocent. But
I
what
was
happened?
completely innocent. It was overblown. They claimed I hit a guy who was not part of the play. He was on the field. He was in uniform. The whistle hadn't blown. He was part of the play.
2nd down and 8. Floater down the seam, incomplete. Virgil Green, the rookie tight end out of Nevada. He and Quinn not on the same page.
And you take a look. Protection was sound, but at that point you've got to know what window is going to open up. And you're past the linebacker, you're in front of the safety, the corner's bracketed to the outside. You got to know you can put that ball at a certain spot. Brady Quinn didn't get it done.
3rd and 8. Crowd makes a little noise. 4 wides. Quinn runs out of time. Green knocked him down. Ball will be ruled an incomplete pass. Marche Green, rookie out of Ole Miss, forced the issue.
And a great job, Marche Green, with a clean hit. Watch him come. He doesn't fly at him, doesn't use his head, uses his arm and his shoulder, doesn't leave his feet. Great job of running right through the tackle. That's exactly what the league wants to see, and that's what he does. Creates a big play.
First 11 weeks on the practice squad a season ago. Got bumped up to the 53-man roster near the end of November.
They're going to challenge this. I think Coach Ken Wisenhunt wants to know whether he fumbled this ball or not. I don't know if that's the challenge.
Arizona's challenged the previous play that it was a fumble, not an incomplete pass, and the ball was recovered clearly by Arizona. We'll review the play.
Another look as we step aside. Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Last play being challenged by Arizona. Ruling on the field is incomplete pass.
His arm forward. Therefore, it is a fumble recovered by Arizona on the 33-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Arizona. Arizona is not charged
A great challenge. If you take a look, what he's trying to do is raise his arm over the defender. He's not trying to throw the ball. Therefore, when Marche Green hits him and the ball pops out, it is a fumble. That's a great challenge and a good reversal.
Tough night offensively for Quinn in Denver. Just haven't gotten anything going.
Well, credit all those guys on the Cardinals defense trying to make the team break in.
First down Arizona at the Denver 33. Powell to the right side. Across the 25, down near the 24. Quentin Carter with the stop. Arizona taking it to Denver right now.
Edge blocking. Look at the edge. Everybody gets an edge. Everybody gets around and gets a body on and takes the edge. When you do that, whether it's your guard or whether it's your fullback, when you run that G blocking scheme, which means the guard comes around the tackle, then the tight end, he sets the edge. You've got your fullback coming up. He now sets the edge. You can get yourself running down that alley.
Gain of 9. Dre, the tight end, in motion. Powell on 2nd and 1. Hit and dropped in the backfield. Jason Hunter finished him off.
Well, what you see in some of this, like when it looks disjointed, you've got a running back that's not used to when he gets the ball working with that guard and in that scheme, and so their timing's a bit off. They hit the hole at 2 separate times. You get a play like that. That's a function of different groups in the game at the same time.
Loss of 5 makes 3rd and 6. Patel in the direction of Williams. Instead, it's intercepted. Broncos get it back, and here's a return by McBath, and he's out of bounds. Powell finally got him out of bounds. Darcel McBath with the pick, and that's the spark Denver needed.
Well, Martell is throwing this ball, but he's got to know that the safety, there's nobody else in the pattern, and this safety can get over the top in a hurry. And McBath does a good job getting himself over there. Watch, Bartell off his back foot, doesn't get enough on it, and that gets the safety plenty of time to get under it and get over there.
Quinn fumbled last time out for Denver. Bartell with the interception for Arizona. Jeremiah Johnson with the carry for the Broncos, and Lynn throws his arm up in disgust.
No, it's actually just, there he goes again. Bonnie Holiday making plays out there. Here's a guy that's been in the league for 14 years. He's in a game, I guarantee you, he doesn't want to be in there right now. He's old, and he says, you know what, I have my place, but he is playing, and he's showing the young guys how to get it done, how to be a professional, and go out there and make plays. It's great to see.
Quinn to the air on 2nd and 6. Bobbled and then ruled incomplete. Virgil Green had it for a moment, couldn't control it until he got out of bounds.
That's frustrating for a quarterback because you're putting the ball on guys, and you take a look, hits him square in the hands, just beats him up. You can't come down with it until he gets out of bounds.
Brady Quinn's numbers, 3 of 10. 2 of those were flat-out drops. Broncos 0 for 5 on 3rd down. Quinn with time, almost intercepted. Fred Bennett had a walk into the end zone if he could have held it.
Well, that's why he's a corner and not a wide receiver. I'll tell you, this ball floats on Brady, but what a nice break by Bennett. Gets himself under the route. He'll dream about that one tonight.
6th punt for Colquitt. Green fair catches this one at the 19. 8:27 to go in the first half. Arizona on top by 14. Welcome back to Arizona. Cardinals leading the Broncos by a pair of touchdowns. Chief Operating Officer Ron Miniger on the left. General Manager Rod Graves on the right. And the team president, Michael Bidwill. They have a lot of work in front of them, getting from 80 down to 53 and looking at to see who else gets released around the NFL.
Absolutely. A very busy time because not only is it the best players for your team, you've got to look at the financial part of who stays and who goes. Then you've got to look at everybody being released and does anybody fit in your scheme better than somebody you already have. Very busy time in the next 10 days.
The end of July, once the labor deal got done, they got 51 signed in a week's time, so they'll have another fury coming up.
And think of how frustrating it might have been to be in the front office for the Cardinals during that time because you're making moves, but you can't announce your moves. And so you're doing things that are really helping your team. And now of course, everybody around the league and everybody that follows the NFL knows how well the Cardinals did during that time. But it had to be frustrating at the time not to be able to get word out. Look at the guys we're signing.
Play action. Bartell through the hands of Williams, incomplete. Had him open at the 35.
There's Steve Keim. He's a big part of the decision making as well. He's got a good look. I always, the shirt, the tie, the hair, the beard, that's a good look.
You two could be brothers.
And that's one of the scouts, Malik Boyd, to Steve Keim's right-hand side, our left.
Talked about all that time in the office and the sleepless nights, essentially running on adrenaline.
Yeah, and a lot of adrenaline because it's such an exciting time.
3rd and 7. Stuckey will pick up a first down and more. Stuckey goes out of bounds across the 40 to the 42. He beat Parrish Cox.
Chancey Stuckey, a guy, we talked about battling for those spots that for 53, he's showing up big today. Just a crossing route, but what do you do after you catch the ball? Tuck it, make a football move, get upfield. Good job of not taking an unnecessary shot, but getting a lot of yards in the process.
4 catches, 101 for Stuckey. Been quiet in the first 3 preseason games, making noise tonight.
First down. Jeremy Bridges, man, he was out and rolling. It was a good G scheme, meaning the tight end blocks down. He's going to go around. He is flying. He's ready to kill someone. Unfortunately, he was ahead of everybody else. There's another look at that play to Stuckey on the crossing route. Eyes are upfield. He's got it's little things, but you do. He's been in the league a long time. When he catches the ball, his head gets around fast. He's protecting the ball. He's got points of pressure on it. All the things a rookie doesn't really know, you see a veteran already got him down.
Bartell over the middle on 1st and 15. Spock with the catch. Across the 45. Muhammad with another tackle for the Broncos.
Unfortunately, if you're the Broncos, you're looking at Muhammad, and that's a big gain. That's about 11 yards. It's great to be making tackles, but I'd rather you knock the ball down prior.
Notes on Spock from a season ago. He's a feisty one, number 83.
Oh yeah, he's going to get in there and he's going to come off the ball, pop you in the mouth. A tough guy, and that's what you like with your tight ends.
Back to the air on 2nd and 5. First down, Arizona. Isaiah Williams with the catch this time.
Really going to look at Isaiah Williams. It's a little dig route. Good job of getting enough separation from the corner. Once you get the cushion down on the corner, he's got to be a reactor then. And once he starts reacting that much, when you stop, when you do that dig, it's hard for him to get his feet churning and get back to you in time if the ball's thrown right.
Powell gets the carry on 1st down. He moves it over the right side. Nate Irving Third-round pick for Denver with the tackle.
Well, there you go. Earlier in the game, we talked a little bit about Powell not really understanding what Womack was doing. Well, they come back to that play. It's power. Womack pulls through the hole, and Powell knows, I got to stick right on his hip. I got to stay right on his hip. And you know what? It's not pretty, but it's 3-4 yards, and that's what you need.
2nd and 7 at the Denver 39. Spock in motion. Powell caught in the backfield and dropped for a loss of 1. Muhammad again. Busy night for 53.
Yeah, that's double bullets. Both backers come from the outside edge. You're going to see both backers outside coming in. See, they fly right upfield. There's no accounting for them. That's a gotcha, particularly in the preseason. You're not game planning. You're not telling your quarterback's not going to audible and get out. That's a gotcha.
Bartell, pressure on 3rd and 8. Steps into it. Spock has the first down across the 25. Steven Spock, the tight end, will move the chains for Arizona.
Well, first off, it starts up front with your running back Powell picking up the blitz. And then the fact that you've got a DB on a tight end, that's a mismatch. Body-wise, everything. There's just no way Quentin Carter's going to be able to physically stay with Spock in limited space. It's one thing to run with him, it's another to just get pushed off the ball the way he was. And there's that feistiness you talk about with Spock.
And Spock used all part of that 6'4", 260-pound frame. 12 of 15.
And I'll go back, a lot, sometimes too much is made of the preseason, but here's a guy who's been given a chance, and he has done exactly what you've asked of him. Other than the one turnover, he's thrown the ball with precision. The turnover was a lack of focus, thrown off his back foot, something like that, but everything else has been precision, right on, exactly what you asked.
His biggest target tonight, Chancey Stuckey.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a battle for the 53, and here's Chancey Stuckey. Bench route, it's a slant, then a go, then a corner, gets himself out open. Crossing route, shows the focus that you have to catch the ball. Another crossing route, and it's getting some yardage. This guy's been all over the field, and the thing is, he was brought in to be a player, and tonight he showed up as a player.
Stuckey officially now 4 catches, 99 yards, and a score.
That's the 3rd Denver player, I think we've seen, or 4th, that's suffered an injury where they've been down for a significant amount of time.
Training staff attending. John Fox looking on, first-year head coach of the Broncos, and they're looking at Nate Irving, rookie from North Carolina State. New regime this year in Denver. Something old is something new. John Elway brought back into the fold. Another look at the injury to Irving.
See, gets landed on by his own man. Hard to see what the injury might have been, other than a Mike Muhammad, 230 pounds, landing on you.
Downstairs to Jody.
Well, guys, we've seen a number of plays tonight by the receivers and tight ends. One of those guys is Chancey Stuckey, who came over, of course, in that quick free agency period. Earlier this week, head coach Ken Wisenhunt was asked about Stuckey. He said, I've seen a good pro, a guy that has experience, a guy that goes about his business. And it's a position, as you know, guys, that doesn't have a lot of experience. A number of young players with great potential, like Andre Roberts, who played a lot last year, Steven Williams, just to name a couple. So Stuckey certainly adds some experience at wideout.
Thank you, Jody. Glenn, I think you can throw in DeMarco Sampson, who's rookie out of San Diego State, not playing tonight, nursing a hamstring, but he's an intriguing prospect as well. Back to action. Powell on first down, cuts it back. Not much doing on first down for William Powell.
Now, you know, I know a lot of backs and kids see that, and it's flashy, especially if you break it. But like I used to tell, you know, my running backs, or when I had a chance, you just ran 50 yards, and in the stats it's 1. How about this? You just run the 1, and maybe we get 2 or 3. But I know that 1, when you're running 15 or 20, it's not as good.
3 minutes to go, first half. Powell again on 2nd and 9. A little more authority and a nod of approval from Glenn Parker to my right. That's better?
Thank you.
Okay.
That's exactly what I like. You know what? That was a 1-yard gain that turned into 3 or 4, because instead of dancing, he put his shoulders down and went. That's exactly what you ask your running back. We'll take a look here where it's coming at us. Good ISO lead block. He makes 1 cut and goes forward. Not every run is going to get you a home run, but you get positive yards, you'll be all right.
3rd and 7 is the 10th play of the drive. Bartell to the end zone. Williams, the intended target, incomplete. Parrish Cox had the coverage.
Well, Williams would like a call. The fans would like a call. It did appear that he might have been engaged in the tackling before the ball got there, but let's take a look. We're running the go. It appears that he was in the act of being tackled before the ball got there. Yes, I think he's got a right to complain. Parrish Cox realized he was not going to get the ball. He might as well take the tackle.
No flag. Instead, it's Feely from 37. And Jay with hopes of another 1,000-point season in 2011 gives Arizona a 17-point lead. .207 to go in the first half. For every successful Cardinals field goal, Cigna will make a generous contribution to Cardinals charities benefiting the Muscular Dystrophy Association. University of Phoenix Stadium, 55th consecutive sellout. Nothing but sellouts officially since they opened the building. Preseason, regular season, postseason, and what a difference it's been for the organization to have a true home field advantage.
Absolutely, and the ability to have preseason games where your fans show up because they've got a place to go. The ability to have early season games because of the heat of Phoenix. It's been a boon to this organization for certain, and I think it's tribute to the vision that the ownership group had when they wanted to build this stadium and wanted to have their own place.
This one's going to be returned. This is Cox. Thought about it for a moment and then gets knocked over by his own man. Cox with return. I think Byers might get credit for a tackle on that one. His own man knocked him down. We're at the 2-minute warning. Cardinals leading Denver by 17. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Arizona leading Denver by 17. Dave Zastudil brought in to compete with Ben Graham as the punter. Graham also the regular holder for Jay Feely, so Zastudil getting an opportunity along those lines as well.
And it's hard to overstate the case for the chemistry between holder and kicker. It is, you have to have such trust that the ball will be put down right, that the laces will be done right, that when the snap is called for, that your steps are correct getting to the holder. There's a lot more to it than just, here comes the ball, let me put it down. So that chemistry, they have enough confidence in Zastudil to put him in there with Feely to feel it out. This is interesting, another battle going on for a roster spot.
Quinn's pass complete to Goodwin. First down for Denver. Quinn over the middle, intercepted. And coming back the other way is Bradley. He's finally caught at the 10.
Prior, we talked about Brady Quinn having to understand where the window is. He has to understand that that back, that linebacker, Stuart Bradley, is going to be dropping into a zone. There was no window to throw that ball. As you see Brady Quinn throw it, there was no place to throw that ball. Now here he comes. He's going to get himself in the play and take a shot in the mush for it too. But I'll tell you, Bradley did exactly what he's coached to do. Drop into your zone. Get a little more depth. There's no crossing route in front of you, so I can get depth so that I can close the window behind me. He does it and comes up with a big interception.
First and goal at the 10. Powell stumbles his way across the 5. Here's Jody.
As I talked to Stuart Bradley just before this game and was asking him about his transition from the Eagles 4-3 defense to the Cardinals 3-4, he said, I am so excited to play in this defense. I'm getting more comfortable in it each day. A chance to do so many different things like rush the passer or even get a pick like we just saw. He also talked about coming to Arizona. He's known Larry Fitzgerald since college, knew Kevin Cobb. So for him, there were many, many reasons, including the fact that his offseason home is in Salt Lake City, for him to come to AZ, guys.
Thank you, Jody. Say what you want about preseason game number 4. He still has the football and a smile from ear to ear. Powell again, finding room, caught around the leg and stopped just short of the goal line. Like he was going to shake free on that one. Lee Robinson got him around the leg and wouldn't let go.
What I like is how hard he's running. This is just double blocks everywhere. You have combo blocks along the line, 2-on-1s. He has to find daylight, does so. Look at the push by the offensive line. Great push. Steven Spock getting some nastiness in there. Anthony Batiste getting a chance at the left tackle spot, getting some movement.
Third and goal at the 2. Powell cut down. It'll be a loss on the play. Clock moving. Arizona has all 3 timeouts remaining. And they will call one with 2 ticks to go in the first half and try to get it to 20-0. So Bartell gets a timeout. Feely on to try to knock through the short field goal. Ken Wisenhunt in his 5th year as the Cardinals head coach. Former tight end himself in the NFL, former All-ACC performer at Georgia Tech. Steady Jay Feely out.
Good teaching moment for the coaches here. Situations we talk about.
Zastudil to put it down again. Automatic for Feely. And as time expires in the first half, Arizona tacks on 3 more points. At the intermission, Cardinals leading the Broncos 20-0. Thanks to a big first half by Chancey Stuckey. A lot of players deep on the depth chart seeing action tonight. Preseason game number 4. Here's Jody.
All right, here with Coach Ken Wisenhunt. Coach, a 20-0 lead right now. Let's talk about the offense. Richard Bartell delivering the ball to a number of different targets. What has he shown you tonight?
Well, I think it started up front. Our line's done a good job of giving him protection. He was able to hold it, hang in the pocket, and make some of those throws. Our receivers won. I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with the way we mixed it up, run it and pass. I think we've been close to 50-50, which is what you like.
And then on on defense, just 2 turnovers. Another one could have been if Bennett picks that ball off. How pleased are you with their effort tonight?
Well, you know what I said before the game, that it's going to be up to that first unit after the special teams to set the tone. Our defense took the reins and did that, so I'm pleased with that. That's an area that we needed to improve on. I'm glad to see improvement during camp, and that's going to continue for us in the regular season.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. All right, head coach Ken Whisenhunt heading into the locker room. Of course, his challenge now to get a lot of different guys in this second half, the guys that are vying for positions. Stay with us, more to come here at the half.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter. Arizona leads Denver 20-0. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Matt Prater to kick it away. Stephen Williams and William Powell back deep for Arizona.
The thin man.
Prater, who has a big leg, sends it to the back of the end zone. Gives us an opportunity to look at highlights from the first half.
Richard Bartell. If you got to make the plays you're supposed to make, and he made them. Throwing the ball very effectively. Early view set early on, but he was good again. Bartell was good across the board. He found his receivers. He put the ball where it had to be. He understood the hole or window that was about to open up. Andre Roberts, guys beating him in the face, but he still manages to come up with it. But again, go back to Richard Bartell, making the throws that you've got to make. And you can always talk about the level of competition, but you know what? When you play a bad team, you're supposed to beat them. Well, when you go out here and you're a good quarterback against base defense, you're supposed to win, and he did.
Brody Croyle will start the second half as the Cardinals quarterback. William Powell got the first carry. Croyle in his 6th year. Spent the majority of his career with Kansas City, played collegiately at Alabama. 18 games in a career, and it's funny when you watch people's careers how those windows of opportunity open and close due to a variety of factors, not always of your own maneuvering.
No, absolutely. An injury here gets you to the next level. You just never know how it happens, but it happens.
Powell with a little room in the open field, showing some shake, and out of bounds across the 40.
Well, you run power and you run behind big Deuce Latui. Just take a look. This pull, this kick out, it's one step and bring it back and bust out. Pretty simple design. Every team runs it, but it has to be executed. Look at Big Deuce, kick out block, come through, make one man miss, run for daylight. Very good job by the offensive line. Good job right there by William Powell getting himself out there. He got himself thin through the hole. I still love that reference. Come on. The thin man.
First down at their own 43. Powell the deep back. He'll get the carry. And able to slip out a couple of would-be tacklers and fall forward near the 49.
Well, we talk about making something happen, doing something, showing up right now. William Powell's kind of that little bit of a diamond in the rough. He's got some good blocking up there. He's making the most of it. Has he had a great game? But he's shown some flashes.
Second down and 4 near midfield. Moia the fullback, Powell the deep back. Arizona content to keep it on the ground. Jason Hunter with the big hit.
Well, it's a G scheme. Tight end down, pull the tackle, and ISO up through. And unfortunately, Steven Spock blocking down. Got good movement, but just a little too much penetration. Hunter was able to come through and make the tackle.
6th-year man out of Appalachian State. Croyle from the shotgun on 3rd down and 5. 5 wide receivers. And Croyle ran a very similar offense to Kansas City under Todd Haley, Chiefs head coach, former coordinator for the Cardinals. Completes this one to Aaron Nichols, a rookie from Oregon State.
Brody has time, so you credit that offensive line. But again, 3-step drop, 3-step route, get it to him on stride, let him make the tackle. Aaron Nichols, a name we just starting to show up for us.
A lot of people thought highly of Croyle coming out of Alabama. 3rd-round pick of the Chiefs in 2006. We in motion. To the air again on 1st down. We near another Arizona 1st down. Stephen Williams with the catch.
You see, look at the cushion that he's given him, so that on the 3rd step you make the cut. You've got to come up and make a tackle, which he does, but he gave him 9 yards. Now, granted, that's the design of this defense because you're in base, but at a 10-yard cushion, you give up 9.
3 catches, 37 yards for Williams. Powell on 2nd and 1. Bounces it back, grabbed, and dropped.
See, there's buyer beware. You, as a running back, you go in there and there's nothing. I understand the desire to bounce back outside. If you're going to bounce, you have to bounce laterally and try to keep going north and south instead of going backwards. So that's where he made his mistake. He thought there was more out there. Maybe he had a little more speed than he really did. Take a look at all the running backs right now on the roster. Of course, Beanie Wells, Stevens Howling with the touchdown earlier.
Williams out with a knee injury for the year. 2nd-round draft pick out of Virginia Tech.
So Powell fighting there with Alfonso Smith. Trying to get that extra roster spot.
Pass tipped the line and then incomplete. Powell was the target out of the backfield. Croyle's pass tipped the line and Powell couldn't pull it in. You look at that set of running backs, you wouldn't be surprised to see somebody picked up if they get cut around the NFL add to that list, would you?
No, not at all. But obviously you know what you've got in Beanie and LaRod Stevens Howling. You're kind of familiar with Alfonso Smith and Powell at this point. With the injury situation, you really might start looking around and see who can I bring in that maybe I like these guys, but maybe someone comes available that I like a little better.
Ben Graham, the incumbent, sends a high punt. It'll take a nice backward bounce and be down near the 5. Well placed by Ben Graham. Denver's first offensive possession of the 2nd half when we come back. Welcome back to Arizona. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. 9:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. Midnight tonight. Your last chance to enter St. Joseph's Health and Wealth Raffle to be eligible for the first 2 amazing prizes. Enter before midnight tonight, healthwealthraffle.org. Well, it's Tebow time. Former Heisman Trophy winner in at quarterback for Denver. First play for the Broncos, pinned deep in their own territory, is a run by Jeremiah Johnson. Tim Tebow, 1st-round pick in 2010. Glenn, I scratch my head to think about a player recently in the NFL who's had as little impact on the field as Tebow, who's had such a huge reaction to everybody else.
Yeah, the thing is, he's a great guy.
Sure.
And he's probably overdrafted a bit, as a quarterback going in the 1st round. Had all the athletic skills, but it's the person that you look at with Tim Tebow, and just as he takes off showing those skills.
And this is what made him so dangerous at the collegiate level. And you could make an argument as Tebow picks up a 1st down that at Florida, the quarterback of those Urban Meyer teams, he's arguably as good as the college football players you'd ever seen.
Absolutely, and here it is, little play action pass. He's looking downfield, but to me, I don't know how much of a chance he got. He looked downfield. Did he go one progression? Did he go through all 3? What was the play? We obviously don't know, but to me, it's a rush to pull the ball down and run.
Johnson gets the handoff. And why is it that he gets such a harsh reaction?
Well, I think first off, he's polarizing in the fact that he came out with his religious views. But people love him, and whenever somebody loves something, there's a natural backlash to hate something. And
True.
so with him, I just saw it on the field prior to the game. He walked up, there were kids in Cardinal uniforms that wanted autographs. He was happy to oblige, and those kids lit up. The people around them lit up. He is loved by a lot of people, and that naturally incurs a backlash by some.
On 2nd down and 6, Johnson slips free of the first tackler and falls forward for a couple. Jeremiah Johnson, second-year man out of Oregon. And the knock on Tebow, that everybody says he doesn't throw the ball well enough to be an NFL passer.
Yeah, and it's a passing game, and because the hashes are where they are, and because the way the game is played at the NFL level, the arm has to be there, or at least the decision-making and the ability to get the ball where it has to go, and so far he hasn't shown he can do that.
3rd down and 5. Steps up in the pocket, is caught and sacked. Will Davis led the Cardinals charge.
And you'll see Will Davis here working on the right tackle, Herb Taylor. Let himself that sack, but again, I think when every route was at 5 yards, at a peg there and stopped. When it wasn't open, Tebow pulled and was very anxious to get running rather than maybe waiting and seeing or running a scramble drill where you get outside the pocket.
Colquitt has been busy tonight. He'll send another one in the direction of Marche Green. Green will return it from the 35. Cardinals defense gets a hold of Tim Tebow. They'll have the football when we come back. Welcome back to Arizona. 6:55 to go, 3rd quarter. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody. And the Cardinals leading the Broncos in preseason game number 4, 20-0. Say what you want about Tebow. His jerseys fly off the shelves.
Yes, they do. Up until just recently, we're the #1 selling jersey, I believe, out there. People identify with Tim Tebow. When you see him give a speech in college, people identify with a charismatic leader like that.
Aaron Rodgers now at the top of that heap. Am I correct?
He
Jersey
and
sales?
Yes, he and Matthews are at the top.
That's what happens when you win a Super Bowl. You play for the Packers.
One of the side benefits.
Brody Croyle on 1st down. Leaping catch by Nichols. And Nichols down near the 35. How about the rookie from Oregon State, Aaron Nichols, showing a flash. 28 yards on the catch and run.
Well, it starts with good protection, plenty of time to throw. Ball's not perfectly thrown or even well thrown for that matter, but Aaron Nichols keeps his eye on it, turns his body, really good athletic ability in the air. That's that body awareness that you talk some guys have, and he definitely has it.
I think what gets lost sometimes when you watch world-class athletes go against one another is how talented everybody is on the field. And you see a rookie, Aaron Nichols, low on the depth chart. You just see that play right there as Powell gets the carry of how athletic that is. And if you've ever felt an NFL football, they are rock hard and they are slick.
Yeah, and they're coming at you fast. That ball is thrown with a lot of velocity on it. And to be able to control your body, then contort it, be able to turn around and grab that ball out of the air and continue running.
Let's go downstairs and check in with Jody.
All right, alongside Pro Bowl safety Adrian Wilson. Adrian, you suffered a tear in the bicep during training camp, the red and white scrimmage. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good. Feeling pretty confident about possibly playing the first game. It's all up to coach, up to the medical staff, so we'll see where it's at.
So that decision will come down to 3 parties together deciding. I know what you want to do. You said you want to play in the first game.
Yeah, it's up to Coach Wills, really. At this point, I have no control over it. I can just continue to rehab and just continue doing the things that I've been doing.
All right, Adrian, how do you feel about the way this defense is coming along under Ray Horton?
It looks good. It's missing one piece, and unfortunately, I'm on the sideline, so they look good. I think everybody's on the same page, and that's really the most important thing is getting everybody on the same page.
All right, Adrian, we'll look forward to seeing you out there as soon as we can. All right, guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Jody. Brody Croyle and the Cardinals have called a timeout. The preseason finale from Arizona. Cardinals leading the Broncos 20-0. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Way of the fullback, Powell the deep back. 2nd and 7. Powell gets the handoff. Back near the original line of scrimmage.
Now there's a good example right there of where if you're game planning you would understand a situation. Most NFL teams on 2nd and long, if you're between the 30s, are going to bring pressure. And that's exactly what they did there. Now a lot of these kids out there, they haven't game planned, they haven't looked at tendencies, it's not in their mindset right now. Come the first week they're going to go, all right, hey, it's 2nd and it's 7 and we're between the 30s. This is a 60% pressure situation, look for it. And they'll be more attuned to the defenses they're going to be facing.
Powell lost one. Nichols goes in motion. 3rd down and 8. Pearl trying to set up a screen. Direction of Powell. It's incomplete. Flag comes in.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Number 73. That penalty's been declined. Result of the play. 4th down.
Well, they go after Jeremy Bridges there, saying got a hand to the face of the man rushing on this screen. We'll take a look at it. Look at the top of your screen, number 73. Does he get him under there? Well, he might have touched it. I mean, you know how I feel about that type of penalty.
I'm aware where your allegiances lie.
I'm pretty open with it, aren't I not?
Mm-hmm.
Are I not? Something like that.
Graham will hold for Feely.
52-yarder.
Kicks away, and Feely makes it 23-0. 52-yard field goal for Jay Feely. Jay Feely's 52-yard field goal makes it Arizona 23, Denver nothing. 4:35 to go, 3rd quarter. Score a legendary meal at Shula's Steakhouse at Wild Horse Pass off the I-10 East and Wild Horse Pass Boulevard. His numbers since 2007, 6 for 7, and 50 plus, and showing off his leg tonight. One more look at Feely from 52. Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker. Looking very studious there. Glasses on, doing your homework.
You know, I'm trying to figure out who's on the field.
Good luck.
I'm looking at numbers and I'm getting it all down.
Brandon Miner is the back. And Tim Tebow will hand off to Miner. Take it over the right side across the 25. Miner, first-year player out of Michigan. 12 years in the NFL, and then a number more years around it, obviously. Biggest surprise of a guy who really came out of the back of the pack to surprise everyone and make a team and end up with a pretty good NFL career.
Well, in the teams I was on, I point towards like a Jerry Ostrowski, an offensive tackle. Guy was brought in. You know, he was kind of a developmental guy, and the next thing you know, the next year he's starting at guard, and the next thing you know, he's getting moved out to tackle, and he ended up playing a good 8 years or so and making a lot of money for himself. He was a guy that I think a lot of people didn't really think was going to have a chance, and yet just kept working hard.
Tebow lets it fly incomplete in the direction of Miner, and time was running out quickly on number 15.
Here we get a look. Tight end takes his eyes off of Will Davis. Will Davis kept coming. Tight end tries to get out and help, but that's a lot of speed coming at you.
Cyril Obiazor. 2nd down and 10. And we'll run it. Minor gets a couple of 35. Webema, 7 games for Arizona last season before he went to IR for knee injury. Denver 0 for 7 tonight on 3rd downs. They've yet to cross midfield. Tebow looking to buy a little time. Throws back across the field, and Denver is into Arizona territory, and they pay for it. Hamza Abdullah drills David Anderson.
And that time Hamza Abdullah didn't come in with an arm. He came in straight at him to the chest. Tebow, this is what you wanted to see on him, on the move, looking to make a play. Does the one thing you should never do, that's throw back into traffic. Now it was a good completion, but he almost got David Anderson laid out.
Got him with the shoulder, and that's the big point of emphasis, not going after the defenseless player's head. Minor trying to stiff arm, and it's Obiazor who lost the hat and lost his helmet and still kept going.
Tell you what, that's a lot of motor. You watch Obiazor, and he's constantly moving, running through the field. Left side of your screen, helmet gets ripped off by the fullback. Gets in there, goes for it. Man, I love it. That's football. You don't need the helmet. Now, when you're pretty like me, yes.
You need the helmet, Glenn. 2nd down and 9. Tebow lets one fly, incomplete at the 30 off the hands of Orton.
And Tim Tebow took a big shot to get rid of the ball. When you take a look at the hit he's going to take, that ball just flutters out of his hand.
Sturdivant drilled him in the back.
So here comes Sturdivant, gets a good nail on him. Now that he was hit after the ball released, so that flutter was just the natural spin on the ball.
3rd and 9. Back to the air. Tebow. High pass is caught one-handed by Gronkowski, the tight end, and it's taken to the turf by Green and Abdullah. And Gronkowski put his hand out and was thinking, who is going to nail me in the side on this one?
Yeah, you know, he had to be thinking where it was coming from. Anytime you're reaching up, anytime you're crossing the middle, you have to be aware someone's trying to take you out.
Matt Prater. This will be an attempt of 60 yards. Ball's down. And it's starting out to the right, and it's going to stay that way. Plenty of leg. Left it out. He nailed one last year, 59 yards at the end of the first half against the New York Jets. He's got a big leg. Just didn't get that one aligned correctly. And if fans wonder why you don't try more really long field goals, your answer is you get the ball where it was spotted, not where it was snapped from.
That's right. And here you are at midfield to start your drive. But that's why it's the preseason. You take your shots and see what you can get done.
Powell and Muia in an eye. Push down Arizona at midfield. Powell will lose one on the carry. Clock moving down near the end of the 3rd quarter. We've mentioned Carolina comes in here to start the regular season, and then it's 2 on the road at Washington, at Seattle, and then the New York Giants come to the nest. End of the 3rd quarter in Arizona. Cardinals with a commanding lead over the Broncos, 23-0. We head to the final quarter of the preseason. Start of the fourth quarter in Arizona. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Cardinals leading the Broncos 23-0. Let's take a look at our Toro ground stats. Toro, count on it.
Then you take a look at William Powell. 20 carries tonight for 44 yards. His whole career at Kansas State, 23 carries. We might have found a diamond in the rough.
2nd and 11, Croyle. From direction of Muia, incomplete. Muia, the fullback, thinking, I spend so much time blocking people, opening up holes. I want to feel the ball. I want the ball just once. Let me carry it.
Think about how an offensive lineman feels.
How did I know you were coming that direction?
Well, I mean, you know, at least those guys are directly involved. Offensive lineman, the ball's behind him the whole time.
Arizona 6 of 13 on 3rd down tonight. Nichols the motion man. Croyle on 3rd and 11. Over the middle, Spock with the catch, turns it up and reaching for the marker. And they're going to say it's down. The ball popped out. They say Spock is down and right near the 1st down marker. Spock thinks he has it.
Spock does such a good job with his body.
First down.
Watch the coverage. It's at the top of the screen. See that separation? Well, guess what? Spock ran right to the feet of Mike Muhammad, got up into his feet, and then was able to cut and get separation. That's why you see separation, because he was able to get right up on the linebacker before he made a cut and use that big body to bang him out of the way.
Spock with the extra effort and reach. Gets to the 40. 1st down, Arizona. Good catch tonight for the Cardinals tight end, Steven Spock. Back to the air on 1st down from Denver's 40. Well, we have the fullback with the catch, spinning, and then lowers his head and pounds his way down near the 31.
I defy you to take a look at that and tell me he didn't look like a bull after he caught the ball. He just realized, oh, I gotta go north. Okay, I'm going north. Run behind my pads and bang into somebody. Let me take a look, and here's the ball. Look at this. Once he gets through here, watch him. Okay, I'm going north. I love that.
Rookie Chris Harris is wondering what hit him. Powell the deep back in the eye. Not much doing on 2nd and short. Lee Robinson, first blue helmet in.
Oh, Deuce was kind of happy that he got those yardage, but apparently that's how nobody else could get away with it. But one very large Polynesian man can knock down another Polynesian man, and it's okay.
Glenn, you played on the offensive line for over a decade. How big is Deuce Latui?
Oh, I'll tell you what, he is. You know, the thing is, he's devastating when he's got his weight under control. So you look at him now, he's pretty darn big, but he can move. And if he can get his weight to where they want him to have it, he can be a devastating player again. And that's all he's got to do. He's got to work to get the weight down. He is huge.
Spock with another catch. 1st down for the Cardinals.
I mean, there's a lot of adjectives, you know, a lot of adjectives. He's station wagon big. You know, he's panel wagon big. He's just big. And he plays with a lot of nasty and a lot of mean.
Ground on 1st down. Powell with some room, slipping out of tacklers and spinning down to the 15. William Powell.
Well, William Powell, you know, we talk about follow-up blockers. The main thing is watch the ISO, the block. He's going to read off of it. Whichever way that block goes, he takes it the other way. Just watch what he does. Watch the leverage. He comes up. There comes the pulling. There was the ISO. One block, out the backside gate he goes. Good vision by William Powell.
1st down at Denver's 15. Muia in motion. Powell following. Maybe a loss of 1 on the play. Clock continuing to move. Preseason game number 4. Fourth quarter action from Arizona. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Powell the lone back. Spock in motion. Croyle. Over the middle, incomplete. Steven Skelton, the rookie from Fordham. His brother is quarterback John Skelton. That's one he would have loved to have had.
Yeah, you know, and the ball, is it a little behind him? It looks like it gets up over his shoulder, but listen, that's as good as he can be thrown in the situation. Skelton's got to come up with that. And that's a tough break for him because, you know, you're not going to get that many chances, and you really got to make the most of it. And that ball hits you right in the hands as you're going over the line. There's John Skelton laughing a bit about it.
Whistles and flags.
Big DJ Young, left tackle, got
Number
moving.
67, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's hard to hide. You're out there on an island, you're big, you start moving, they can find you.
I think what would be surprising to the general public is when you look at a guy like Brody Croyle out there, you think, well, he's obviously not that big of a guy. If you're an average-sized person and you get next to a Brody Croyle, you think, he's a pretty big guy.
Yeah, you know, when you're looking, it's. I remember as a kid, I got to go down to the court and be around Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson and some of those guys. They were giants. When you watch them on TV, they all look kind of alike because
Sure.
they're kind of, in real life, wow.
And you start looking at people like Young and Latouille and the rest of it, and you know, Brody Croyle and those people are good size. They look small. Like Young and company are gigantic.
Yes, you put an average-sized human being next to those guys, and they look real small out there.
Graham will hold for Feely. .34-yard attempt. Jay Feely remains perfect tonight. Arizona 26. Denver nothing. 9:50 to go, 4th quarter. 9:50 to go in the preseason finale. Arizona leading Denver. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson on hand. It's not too late to be part of the action at University of Phoenix Stadium. Limited amount of Cardinals season tickets are still available. To secure your seats today, please call 602-379-0102 or visit azcardinals.com. Feely bounces one, fielded by one of the upbacks, and a straight return across the 30-yard line. Jeremiah Johnson will turn it over to Tim Tebow and the Denver offense. 9:43 to go in Arizona, and those two are ready for Carolina to come to town.
They are more than ready. Their anticipation level is very high. I'm not quite sure what to make of the hats, but
Is it a what is it?
an odd religious sect, and I don't know.
Good. Old school. Tim Tebow's jersey from Florida in the stands. Denver on first down, gives it to Brandon Minor. And we mentioned Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton, the first overall pick in the draft, come to town to start the season on September 11th.
Yeah, you know, you look, and it's the way the schedule sets out. You like having that home game that you would have never had previous, but it's kind of a, you look in Washington, they might be better. Seattle, though, it's a little bit of some away games to start when you really look it's a 50-50 proposition kind of in your first 6 games. And then towards the end, he gets more home games as you finish up.
Right at Minnesota, Donovan McNabb, and Minnesota Steelers always tough. Penalty on that play against Denver. That's the Broncos' first penalty of the night. Tebow able to escape pressure and then runs back into it and hits the deck.
Now you live in the desert out here, and you see that behavior out of trapped pack rats. They'll run like that. Now you see what he does is he gets out of this toe hold and gets forward, but realizes there's a whole lot of red, and he runs right back over to where the trap originally was. Well, the odds are getting in there, getting it done.
Second and 26. Tebow in the shotgun. Arizona sends forward. Tebow lost the ball, picks it up, running for his life, and throws it to the sideline. It goes through the hands of Goodwin. Will Davis breathing down the neck of number 15. Cardinals schedule second half of the season, November, lonely here at home.
Yeah, you got those away games, but then you get to come back, and if you can be home and not be, if you don't have to be at Philly in December, that's not too bad. So you get to come home, and you have those 3 straight games at home, and then the last game of the season at home.
4 your last 5 here at the Nest, and just looking at the way the NFL has played out over the last handful of years, so important to make that push to get into the postseason. And we've talked about this before, that there are teams in Green Bay last year, a lot of talk whether or not they'd even make the playoffs, and then they run the table.
Well, when you look at that schedule where you're home towards the end and you have a lot of conference and division games, you get a chance to set yourself up for a postseason run. The schedule looks favorable for the Cardinals at this point. But again, they're all NFL games. There's no gimmies.
No, you see that week in and week out, just when you think you have it figured out. Colquitt. Green waiting. Fielded at the 23, and Marche quickly surrounded by the Broncos. We'll take a timeout. 7:50 to go. Cardinals out in front. Arizona, Cardinals leading the Broncos by 26. Go downstairs to Jody Jackson.
All right, alongside defensive lineman Calais Campbell. First of all, Calais, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old are you?
25.
25. All right, I want to ask you about the defense right now. And let's go back actually last week. You guys got a lot of pressure on Phillip Rivers, and you played almost through 3 quarters. How confident are you going to get a consistent pass rush this season?
Very. I feel like our defense is great. Our secondary is giving us a lot of time. So you do that with great pass rushers, we should be able to get a lot of sacks.
For you personally, I know you're looking for a big year. What do you need to do to, get those sacks that you've come close to so many times?
Finish. I've been working on that all off season, all through training camp. It's just finishing. And I feel like it's a big year. A year wiser, a year smarter, and just after you mess up a few times, you eventually get it.
Your brother Jared is on this team and vying for a spot at safety. He just played in last possession. What's it been like? I know you guys played at Miami one year together, but to be in an NFL training camp together.
It's amazing. It's like no other. I think he brings out a different side of me. I think he allows me to open up a little bit more and connect with my teammates. So I love having him around.
The little brother bringing you out a little bit, personality-wise, huh?
Definitely.
And then finally in the offseason, you had a Hollywood endeavor. Tell me a little bit about that. It had to do with Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah, worked with Funny or Die for a while and met Will Ferrell and had a blast. Hollywood is definitely something I want to do when I'm done playing. So, see how things go, but it was fun.
All right, Calais Campbell, the actor-comedian maybe someday. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jody. Good stuff. What are the odds? What are the odds of anybody making an NFL roster, even getting into camp? I think that gets lost in all this too when you look at the sheer number of people out there who start playing football and you come down to this very highest level and you end up on a team with your brother. What a neat experience.
Yeah, it has to be, and you just hope that it works out. But I'll tell you, to be able to be in a situation where you need someone to talk to and lean on and have that person there be your brother, pretty amazing.
Powell with another carry. 26 carries tonight for William Powell.
23 in college, 26 tonight. He's getting his work.
That's over 2 seasons in college at K-State.
I think when we have to revisit those keys to the game, our diamond in the rough has got to be William Powell.
Powell again on 2nd and 9. Right in the pile, Mitch Unrein with the tackle. Clock continuing to move. Approaching 5 minutes to go. Preseason game number 4. Saturday, teams need to go from 80 on the roster down to 53.
As exciting as that signing period had to have been, as exciting as 5 days of free agency chaos, getting 51 players in or 90, as many players you try to get in, now you got to get down.
Coyle looking for Williams down the sideline. It's incomplete.
Now the pressure. Imagine by Tuesday, I got to get back. I got to have my roster. This is it. So by Saturday down to 53 players. Thursday the season is going. Think about that. So they're at 80. They got to get to 53 in just a couple days. If we thought that there was a lot of pressure to get guys into camp, think of the pressure to pare down and come up with the guys you think are the ones that are going to give you the best chance to win a championship.
Saints at Green Bay on Thursday. And another beauty from Ben Graham. Second time tonight he's pulled out the 9-iron and stuck it on the green. 4:33 to go. Back to football in Arizona. 4:33 to go in the preseason finale.
Hey Cardinals fans, Papa John's Unlimited Combo. Ask for the Cardinals Unlimited Combo and get a large unlimited toppings Papa John's pizza and a 2-liter bottle of Coke for just $10.99. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Johnson the back. Tebow instead going to go to the air. Pass complete. Couple nice moves and a first down for DeAndre Goodwin. So Goodwin and Tebow get the Broncos out of the shadow of their own goalpost. And Graham, second time tonight, he a little backspin on one.
Yeah, when we talk about the fight for 53, there's a punter in camp that you're fighting with. You're the incumbent. Got to make some plays. That's kind of a golf shot, isn't it? Little backspin, bring it back where you want it.
And 2 punters, Graham and Zastudil, talking on the sideline. Tebow, plenty of time. Goodwin again, open, makes the catch. O'Shea Green out there with them, but Denver has it up to the 45.
Going back to Graham and the battle with Zastudil, no one gets to be comfortable. Tim Tebow gets that ball out there, has a little bit of air, not as much zip as you might like, but he gets it where it has to go. I like the fact no one's comfortable. No one gets to be comfortable on the field. No one gets in their job and thinks this is my job forever.
Green bringing pressure, screen set up, and Johnson knocked down. And if he was able to get out of that tackle of Talley, he had some room to run.
Well, that's what happens. The screen, it was the perfect play call for the defense. When they bring pressure and I get a screen into it, I'm gone. I'm running.
Johnson to the right of Tebow. Floater over the middle, incomplete. As a player, did the season go by really fast for you?
Yeah, once it gets moving, because you're always in that routine of Monday I watch film, Tuesday's treatment, I get game plan Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, boom, game. And then it's started over again. You just don't have time to think. You have time to get ready for the next game. And before you know it, you look up and it's Christmas and you got 1 week to play and you're either looking at playoffs or you're looking at vacation.
Well, you had a lot of long seasons. Lynn Parker played in 5 Super Bowls, 4 with Buffalo, 1 with the New York Giants. Riley with the catch on the sideline. Tuesday's treatment day? I thought that was your off day.
If you have any nicks or bruises, you have to have treatment. And there is no man in the NFL that doesn't have nicks and bruises. So other than the hour or 2 of treatment, yes, it's your off day.
Okay.
I wish I could go to treatment now. I'm more sore now than when I played.
Tebow. Let's go of a deep one and has a man. Riley again. Touchdown, Denver. "43 yards from Tebow to Riley."
Well, the protection is okay. Gives him enough room to throw that ball. And here we go on the ISO. You know, I'll tell you, what breaks down there for Fred Bennett is that he had about a 10-yard cushion, and he's in man, and he didn't backpedal. He didn't use his backpedal well enough, so that cushion was gone. So by the time he turned his hips, he was beaten.
Prater makes it 26-7. .257 remaining in the 4th. Fight for 53.
Well, okay, let's take a look at that. Those guys right there. Okay, we know those are probably the 4 guys that are fighting for 1 or 2 spots. Well, Hausler is your rookie. He's going to be in. So now the odd man out, you have to look. Who's going to grab that extra spot? Tough to get rid of Dre. He's a special teamer, but Spock has had a great game. He's a big body. He can block well for you. He does a lot of things well. I think it really comes down to Dre and Spock fighting for that last spot. And Skelton, if anything, might have a shot at the developmental squad, being a young guy. But this is a real intriguing one for me because you know you've got Heap and King, and now you've got to find that guy. Hauser being the draft pick, probably going to make your squad, can be a threat for you. So it really comes down, in my mind, to Spock and Dre fighting for a spot.
Dre left tonight's game with a left pectoral strain. Prater will kick it away from the 35. And from the 35 is a new part of the game this year. Used to be the 35, went back to the 30, now back up to the 35. How big of an impact do you foresee that having throughout the course of an entire season?
Well, there's been a lot of debate on this, and you know, returns are going to be down. So if returns are down, they hope for injuries to be down. But because of that, if returns are down, you're always going to be starting, well, you're not always, but most of the time starting from your 20, therefore longer drives, less field position. I think it's going to result in lower scoring games. But who knows? That's what you think can happen. It might be a totally different set of circumstances.
Powell with the handoff. He continues to be the workhorse tonight for Arizona. Lee Robinson, first Bronco in to meet number 37. 28 carries tonight for Powell, 63 yards.
Second timeout.
Powell's had a whole lot of 1 yard and gains and 1 yard losses in all those carries. He's taking his lumps behind an offensive line. When you start getting into the third on the depth chart, he's starting to take some shots.
Look at our fight for 53 and a focus on the receivers.
Well, here you have Chauncey Stuckey, big time game tonight. He's probably gonna make it. Stephen Williams, do you give up on him? He's only had a year. He's real raw. He came into you and he's just a presence physically. DeMarco Sampson has had a great preseason up until having an injury that has kept him out. I think he's an intriguing guy that you go, well, we really like what we saw. Do we have enough?
Charge timeout.
So this battle to me is an enigma because I think you can, obviously you take Chauncey Stuckey. They signed him early. I think they like what they have with him. I think you have to look at the other 3 guys and figure out well, what are the special teams ramifications and what else do we have? You know, here's a nice.
That's Isaiah Williams.
Isaiah Williams. There he is. So he's showing up too. See that? With body control. Ball's bubbling around. He still keeps it. So I think the wide receiver battle is a real. There's a lot to it, and I think Stephen Williams, he's just too good to let go. DeMarco Sampson showed too much to let go. Chauncey Stuckey is signed early, so you like him. So really the odd man out right now has probably got to be Isaiah Williams, but I don't know. You just don't know. We're not in those meetings. We don't see as much as the coaches see and everybody else sees. They're much tighter to the situation. That's why there's always surprises come cut day.
Not only on the team you follow specifically, but around the league there will be some surprises. Nichols with another catch and stays on his feet and picks up first down yardage for Arizona. So Aaron Nichols with the old stumble drill gets 6 or 7 more.
Twice he's had a ball thrown to him where he had to have body control, come up with the ball, and run after the catch. Twice he's done a great job of it. He's really showing his athleticism. He's showing his balance and his body control. And here's another look at it. He gets a good shot. Most guys go down right there, but he doesn't. He tight ropes it and gets another 6-7 yards after the catch.
And with that first down, we will get to the 2-minute warning.
This is the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes to go in Arizona. 2 minutes to go in Arizona. Rich Delaney, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Cardinals leading the Broncos 26-7. Time for the SRP Power Performance presented by SRP, delivering more than power.
Chauncey Stuckey, what a game he had. Bench route, ball thrown, he comes up with it. He just did things right all day. Crossing routes with the focus and the eyes and the hands. Able to get the ball and do the things he had to do. Chauncey Stuckey big for the SRP Power Performance.
Powell with the carry.
Now fans are wondering why the timeouts. It's 4th preseason game. Let's go. You've got to go through the mechanics. You only get so many chances at this prior to the real season, so you've got to do it. You know, one of the things that, believe it or not, is being talked about is some coaches are even using the video games to have more and more opportunity to run 2-minute offense because you can't do it enough times to feel comfortable with the clock. So this is a great opportunity for coaches to understand the clock and the way it's working and the mechanics of it all. It's very important to them. I know fans are like, come on, let's get this thing going. But it is something that guaranteed sometime down the way, a lesson learned here is put into practice in the regular season and can be the difference in a game.
Powell lost 3. Kroll with 2 wide receivers each side, and Brody throws it a little bit high for Isaiah Williams. Brody Croyle, 9 of 15, 94 yards. Third and 13. Empty backfield. Croyle complete to Spock. Spock up to the 40. Chris Harris, the rookie from Kansas, with the tackle.
And you see here, good cut over there by Cliff Lewis. That gets the defender's hands down on this cross, on the slant route, allows Spock to come under. We used to call that X spot. What you do is that tells the tackle, listen, it's a drop and I got to cut, get the hands down so that slant can come out right where that guy's hand should have been.
Ben Graham comes back out to punt. Arizona will call a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock.
30-second timeout.
Gets us down to 103. Thursday night, all the fun of the NFL season begins.
Can't wait.
Saints, Packers, and then Sunday in full force. Carolina coming to Arizona. Panthers and the Cardinals here at the Nest.
Excited, I think all the fans can look at Cam Newton come in, but more importantly, excited to see this offense fight in earnest. Excited to see Ray Horton's defense get rolling.
Graham sends it away. Cox gets away from it. Nichols down to grab it for Arizona, and they'll spot it at the 16. Denver has the ball out of timeouts. Tim Tebow's night is done. Curious to see how the Broncos shake it out in the quarterback spot. Kyle Orton the starter, and then Brady Quinn got the start tonight. Will he be the clear-cut number 2? Or Tebow at number 3. This is Adam Weber, the rookie from Minnesota. And Weber faces pressure and gets sacked. Campbell with the sack. That'll make his brother happy.
Absolutely. And you know, he comes, it's unobstructed. He gets in, but he does exactly what you're supposed to. If you come unabated, make the tackle, and he does.
Jared Campbell, rookie from Miami. And Weber completes it. Dangerous pass, but it's caught, and Riley's on the move. Riley showing some wheels. And Riley slips out of the tackle, but he's out of bounds. Marche Green saved the touchdown, but Riley got it inside the 5.
Well, they don't bring pressure. Well, they do actually bring pressure. That ball gets out. Actually, not a bad thrown ball. You're playing man because you're bringing pressure. That means if you get through, watch out, you're off to the races, Aaron Riley.
And Abufi gambled and lost.
Yes, he did.
89 yards for Riley. 12 seconds to go. Denver has no timeouts. They'll get charged for delay of game.
First down.
Take it from the 4 to the 9. Tebow and Brady Quinn watching. First and goal. Final 12 seconds of the preseason for Denver and Arizona. To the 14.
False start. Number 75. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down. This penalty does not include a 10-second runoff, since the clock was not running.
Great job by the official giving an explanation. I know a lot of fans probably were wondering why. Hey, wait a minute, why isn't the game over? Why isn't it done? Great, you know, the officials can help so much by just giving a little bit and letting the fans understand what the situation is.
John Perry, our referee tonight. Weber on first down. Surveying, going to try to run. They're out of timeouts, and Weber right down near the goal line. He didn't get in, and that will be the ball game. Weber came up about a half-yard short of the goal line, and a rightful smile for the rookie, and some words of encouragement from Tebow, and a hug from Larry Fitzgerald. Back with some final thoughts. Preseason is in the books, and the defense holds, Glenn. They hold on the last play of the preseason.